The film begins in New York City. At that time, there's a woman named Abby who works as an assistant manager at a hotel. One morning, she hears about some problems from her coworker Katie, but Abby is very good at her job and solves them easily. At the same time, Abby gets a call from her mom, Jackie, asking her to visit her in Greece. At first, Abby says she's too busy with work, but that day she gets fired because the hotel is cutting jobs. A few days later, Abby decides to visit her mom in Greece. Jackie always wanted to live there, but she couldn't because Abby's dad had died a long time ago. When they were about to get in the car, they saw a motorbike blocking the car. The bike belonged to a man named Theo. There, she got angry at Theo because his bike was blocking their way. After a while, Theo arrives at his late mom's villa and gets a call from his dad, Nicholas. Nicholas is a cruise ship businessman and wants Theo to take over his company as he gets older. While Jackie lived in Greece, she started a business as a property broker with the help of her employee, Kasia. At that time, Kasia, who was from the city, helped Jackie a lot with talking to and negotiating with the local people. The next day, Jackie took Abby to meet her boyfriend, Giannis. In that moment, Giannis wanted to invite them for lunch. At lunch, Abby met Theo again, who Giannis had hired as a traditional chef. After eating, she talked to Theo and said she was surprised to see him working as a chef. They also talked about their first meeting when Abby thought Theo was annoying. While Abby and Kasia were at a cafe, Abby asked about her mom's business, which wasn't doing well. At the same time, she got a call from Katie, who said their company was looking for a manager for a restaurant. And Kasia, knowing Abby had no experience in that field, offered to help by suggesting Abby practice with her friend who was opening a new restaurant. It turned out that Kasia's friend was Theo, so she asked Theo to meet Abby because she had experience managing hotels. Sometime later, Kasia brought Theo and Abby together. At first, Abby didn't want to work with Theo, but Kasia convinced them both because it would be good for her experience and Theo needed help managing his business. They finally agreed to work together, but Abby would only help open Theo's restaurant in the next 2 weeks. On the way home, Theo asked Kasia to keep his family name a secret so others wouldn't know he was the son of a cruise ship businessman. The scene then shows Nicholas ordering his assistant, Dimitris, to find Theo at his mother's villa. Years ago, Theo had an internship at his dad's company and did a great job, so Nicholas wanted Theo to take over the business. Meanwhile, Abby talks to her mom about why she never told her about the business not doing well. At that time, Abby offered to help promote the business online and through social media to help her mom get more clients. The next day, Abby met Theo at a restaurant he inherited from his mother, Sophia. Theo said his grandparents built the place, and he wanted to revive it because of the many good memories he had there. Soon after, Abby researched other restaurants and found they offered popular common foods. At first, Theo didn't want to serve the same food, but as a skilled chef, he could cook them with different recipes and tastes. After agreeing on the menu, they started working together to clean the restaurant. When Theo arrived at the villa, he was surprised to see Dimitris, who wanted to talk to him alone and convince him to join his father's company. Since the villa was built under the company's name, Nicholas wanted to sell it, hoping Theo would have no choice but to return home. But Theo refused, saying he had a dream to reopen his mother's restaurant and make it successful. The next day, Theo and Abby went to an antique market to buy decorations for their restaurant. They also bought gifts for each other and exchanged them as souvenirs after shopping. Meanwhile, Dimitris visited Jackie's office to follow Nicholas' orders to sell the villa. When Jackie got home, she thanked Abby because her online promotions helped Jackie get new clients. Following the address given by Dimitris, Jackie and Abby went to the villa and accidentally met Theo. At that time, Theo lied, saying he was just a villa guard assigned by Dimitris before the villa was sold. Then, Theo quickly hid all the photos in the villa so that Abby and Jackie wouldn't know he was the owner's son. Then, Theo showed Abby and Jackie around the villa, and they learned that the villa belonged to Nicholas, a billionaire. The next day, Abby went to the restaurant to help Theo set up the furniture they had bought. After they finished, Theo took Abby to an olive plantation. He explained that his mother's family always used homemade olive oil in their recipes. While making olive oil, Theo shared more about his mother's family, who were originally from the city. In the evening, he invited Abby to walk around the city center, and they enjoyed a festival with dancing for tourists. Before they made a menu for the restaurant, Theo started cooking some dishes using his mother's recipes. That day, Theo and Abby talked about their work experiences. Abby liked her job because it paid well. When it was Theo's turn, he mentioned working for a company but didn't say it was his father's. Theo then said he was happy with their partnership and wanted Abby to feel like the restaurant was hers too. Later, Jackie had a meeting with Dimitris to talk about the villa that Nicholas' company wanted to sell. Jackie mentioned Theo living in the villa, and Dimitris revealed that Theo was actually Nicholas' son. When Jackie got home, she told Abby about Theo and his father being a cruise ship businessman. Abby wasn't angry and thought Theo must have a good reason for keeping his identity a secret. Curious, she searched for Theo's name on the internet and told Katie about their meeting. On the other hand, Dimitris came to see Theo again, still trying to persuade him to come home, saying his father really wanted to see him. But Theo, wanting to continue his mother's restaurant, refused again. Since Sophia's villa was to be sold, Theo decided to live in the restaurant instead. The next morning, Dimitris got a call from Nicholas, asking for more time to convince Theo to return to Athens. When Abby came to the restaurant, Theo told her he had moved there the night before. Then, he received a letter from the city government saying he had to pay 10 years of back taxes before opening the restaurant. Theo admitted he had no money, so Abby suggested asking his family for help, but he still kept secrets about his father. Shortly after, Abby called an olive oil company to ask for sponsorship, mentioning that Theo was Nicholas' son. Later, Theo invited Abby to a wine company to choose wines for their restaurant. There, Abby told him she had secured investors who agreed to pay the back taxes in exchange for using their olive oil. Since his family always made their own oil, Theo rejected the offer, saying he had never cooked with that oil. Abby got angry, saying she knew Theo had lied about his wealthy family. The next day, Abby had an interview with a man named Thomas for a manager position at a restaurant in America. She talked about her experience with Theo and mentioned that tomorrow night would be the first time Theo would open his restaurant. Meanwhile, Theo called his father's office to apologize for not being able to fulfill his father's wish. He also told his father about the restaurant's opening day and asked him to come visit to see how well his business was doing. In the evening, Abby got a call from Thomas saying she got the manager job. But she was unsure about taking the job because she enjoyed working with Theo more than working for someone else. Later, when Theo was about to rest, he discovered a leak in his restaurant. He panicked and called Abby to come. They both apologized for their argument, and since Theo needed money to pay the back taxes, he finally agreed to Abby's plan. After making up, Theo and Abby fixed all the problems to pass the building inspection. When they finished, he took her to an ancient amphitheater that he always visited when he had problems or wanted to make a wish. When they were getting ready for the opening, Theo and Abby got bad news that the restaurant didn't pass the city inspection. Luckily, Abby had a good idea. She suggested they open the restaurant in Sophia's villa and help Jackie find buyers at the same time. Soon after, Abby went to her mom and asked for help moving Theo's furniture to the villa. They all worked together to turn the villa into a restaurant. When guests started arriving, Abby had to go back and forth to Theo's restaurant to get the food that had been cooked. At the opening, Jackie invited Dimitris to the villa so he could taste Theo's food. There, Abby thanked Giannis for his help, and Jackie managed to gather buyers and their offers. After everything was done, Abby told Theo she would return to America the next day. Theo admitted he was afraid of losing Abby, but he remembered their agreement that this would be their goodbye. A few moments later, Nicholas showed up. Abby took him to a special table that Theo had prepared. There, Theo served food that his late mother used to make, which made Nicholas proud. He decided to support Theo's dream before giving him his company. Before leaving, Nicholas gave Theo a gift, and it was a recipe book written by Sophia. Meanwhile, Abby was unsure about returning to America. The next morning, she went to the restaurant to tell Theo. She found him alone at the amphitheater. There, Abby told Theo she had decided not to go back to America and wanted to stay and help with the restaurant. Theo then shared that his father had bought Sophia's villa and given it to him. After that, he invited Abby to live there with him. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is sometimes life gives you lemons, but if you open a restaurant in a villa, you might end up with olive oil instead. Plus, pretending to be a villa guard can actually help you find love and a new home.